In this video, you'll find some spiritual gems comments for the week of April 29 to May 5, 2024. Friends, we welcome you, and now let's get started. For this week, we have the Bible reading of Psalms 34 to 35. So let's dive in. Let's start with the first question, and this comes from the verse 19, chapter 35. This says, "Don't let those who for no reason are my enemies gloat over me. Don't let those hating me without cause wink their eyes maliciously." So the question for this is, what's the meaning of David's request not to let those hating him wink their eyes? And the winking of an eye would indicate that David's enemies were deriving pleasure from the success of their spiteful plans against him. David requested that this not happen. And this teaches the importance of begging, asking Jehovah's protection, especially from those who hate us and for no reason. Have you ever suffered the hate of some people? They hate you and there's no reason, apparently. Well, in that case, you might have an idea what David felt when he was going through this situation. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. What spiritual gems from this week's Bible reading would you like to share? And we have number 1. So I'm gonna read the verse directly from the Bible and then the gem. And 34:1 says, "I'll praise Jehovah at all times. His praise will be on my lips constantly." So, living as an outcast, David must have had many material concerns, but as these words show, his daily cares didn't overshadow his determination to praise Jehovah. This teaches that whether we are at school, at work, with fellow Christians, or in the public ministry, our uppermost desire should be to praise Jehovah. Number 2, and the same verse teaches that we can praise Jehovah at all times. Sometimes we're waiting for the perfect moment in our lives, but we think that only when things are going well, that's the right moment to praise Jehovah. But when difficult days come, that is when we should be closest to Jehovah, instead of distancing ourselves from Him. Number 3. And the same scripture teaches that some people believe that simply living a good life, in other words, being kind to their neighbors, loving their brothers and sisters, keeping a clean home, developing a fine personality, is all that is necessary to bless and praise Jehovah. But really, more is involved. Praise must issue from the mouth, as David said. So this motivates us to keep preaching with enthusiasm. Number 4. Now let's move on to 34:2, and this says, "I'll boast in Jehovah. The meek will hear and rejoice." So this teaches that when we are successful in our lives, in complicated situations, it's really important that we give praise to Jehovah instead of ourselves, like showing off our achievements. David didn't hear boast of any personal accomplishments. For example, he didn't brag about the way he deceived the king of Gath. He realized that Jehovah protected him when he was in Gath and that he escaped with Jehovah's help. Number 5. Now let's move on to number 3, 34:3. This reads, Magnify Jehovah along with me. Let us exalt his name together. David wasn't content to praise Jehovah only in private or only him. He warmly invited his companions to join him in exalting God's name. What a joyful privilege it is to imitate his example in praising Jehovah on every possible occasion together with fellow believers, especially now as we behold the day drawing near. Number 6, and verse 4 says, 34:4, I inquired of Jehovah, and he answered me. He rescued me from all my fears. When associating with fellow believers, we have many opportunities to relate building experiences of how Jehovah has helped us to endure difficult circumstances. This strengthens the faith of our fellow believers, just as David's expressions strengthened the faith of his supporters. Number 7. And the same verse teaches us the importance of inquiring of the Bible and of course of Jehovah in our publications when we're going through difficult times. And we see that the organization encourages to seek medical or professional help or assistance, treatment, or professional help according to our personal circumstances. They are not recommending a specific treatment, but they say they agree with medical treatment or assistance. Okay, now let's move on to number 8, 34:7, and this reads, The angel of Jehovah comes all around those fearing him, and he rescues them. So David saw the angel of Jehovah camping all around him. David was comparing Jehovah's angel to a soldier camping in the field, always on the alert for the enemy. Although he himself was a mighty man of war, and Jehovah had promised him the kingship, David didn't rely on his ability to sling a stone or to wield a sword to defeat the enemy. David put his trust in God, confident that Jehovah's angel rescues those fearing him. That's a beautiful example to us to imitate. Number 9. And the same scripture teaches us that to continue benefiting from angelic guidance and protection, we must keep on exalting Jehovah's name even in the face of opposition. Remember, God's angel encamps only around those fearing Jehovah. Okay, now number 10. And 34:13 reads, Then guard your tongue from what is bad, your lips from speaking deception. And this teaches us that words are powerful. There is a deep secret, deep mystery in this verse. Safeguarding our tongue from what is bad means that we'll avoid spreading harmful gossip Instead of that, we'll always strive to be a building when we talk to others. Further, we'll strive to be courageous and speak the truth. Okay, friends, that's a wrap for today's video. Some of the spiritual comments for this week from the Bible reading for this week. Some of the spiritual gems comments, and thank you for coming. We hope you have a wonderful day and hope to see you in a next video. So, see you next time. Bye.